a follow-up video to the rocky road that I made the other day. So I've had some thoughts. I made it with the vegan chocolate mousse that I made, and then I was kind of thinking, do we actually need to make the rocky road out of the mousse? Can't we just make a like a water ganache, which is just water and dark chocolate, and use that as the binding agent to hold everything together? Because most rocky roads have got butter in them and syrup, like golden syrup, like treacle type of thing. And I was kind of thinking, the water ganache is nice, and you just get like a pure chocolate flavour. As soon as you start adding like butter or margarine, it kind of it makes things richer, but kind of takes away some of the chocolatey flavour. And also, if we can make it without butter, that makes it vegan. And I don't like really using margarine. I don't know. It's just I don't think it's very nice, and I don't think you should be kind of putting that kind of thing into your body. Butter's fine, but margarine, and it doesn't taste particularly nice. Anyway, so I had a little bit of play around, and I made the water ganache and I let it go cold in different kind of ratios of chocolate and water, just to kind of see how it kind of sets. So both bowls have got 100 grams of chocolate in. This one has got 100 grams of water. This one has got 50 grams of water. So they've set up, cooled down differently. I haven't whipped them up. I've just melted them together and let them go cold. This one, with the 100 grams of water in, is still kind of quite liquid at fridge temperature. This one has set more solid. So I think that's about right. Obviously, the more water you put in, the softer it's going to be, the more indulgent it's going to be. But I'm kind of thinking that the 50 grams of the half the amount of water chocolate is probably going to be about right. So my thinking is this, through my calculations, in total there is 200 grams of chocolate and 150 grams worth of water. So we need to add another 100 grams worth of water, because we don't want to waste that one. As an experiment, we can still use it. We're going to remelt it again. So to make it all up to half chocolate, half water, we need to add another 100 grams worth of chocolate and to these two to make it the right amount of chocolate to water. So 300 grams of chocolate, and there'll be in total, there's 100 grams of water in there and 50 grams of water in there, which will take it up to 150 grams. Then we've got some ginger nut biscuits, ginger snap biscuits, biscuits, whatever you kind of want. The recipes I kind of sort of use digestives. I don't really want to use digestives. I think ginger nuts are more interesting. So I smash those up a bit, and there's 200 grams of ginger nut biscuits. Best to smash them up in the packet. Just take the rolling pin and give it a good old crack. Just be careful that it doesn't want to explode out of the ends. That's it, exploding out of the ends of the packet. And we'll have a look at those in a minute to see if they haven't crushed too much. And then I've got 90 grams worth of marshmallows left over, and then I've got 100 grams worth of raisins. So that should be about right. There might be a little bit too much chocolate for the filling that we're going to use, but what we'll do is we'll put all the filling in the bowl once we've melted the chocolate, and then we'll mix it all together. We won't add all the chocolate, and then we'll kind of see what kind of ratios we're doing. So we need to add these to that to make it all melt together. So what's going to be best? And we might need to whip it up slightly as well. The chocolate doesn't want to mix with the water just as easily as something like a dairy product like butter or cream does. So we might just need to give it a bit of a whisk up just to make it incorporate just that little bit better and not have it kind of grainy. We don't want a grainy finish to it. So there's that in there, and then see, that's going to be a nice fudgy consistency. We might have got away with 75 grams worth of water per 100 grams worth of chocolate, but I think that's going to be a good ratio, and certainly fudgy enough. And I don't think we'll miss the butter or the golden syrup that we put in. I think just with the chocolate alone will be enough. I have confidence in myself, and if it doesn't work, we'll just adjust the recipe and we'll go again. That's that. So we'll melt all those together, and we'll probably give it a little bit of a whisk, because it's kind of a tendency to go a little bit grainy, but that's fine. We can sort that out. There. We're not going to put any extra sugar in as well. We're going to rely on the sugar that's in the marshmallows that coats the raisins and the sugar that's in the biscuits. So, although saying that I don't like margarine, it's probably going to be margarine in the biscuits. But anyway, so excessive amounts of margarine. So we'll let those mix. We'll just have a look at how the biscuits are. They should be crumbled, but not. So just need a little bit of going through. Just the bigger bits like that. Just need a bit of a smash, like that. It would look like there's probably a little bit too much chocolate. We'll just kind of see how we go. We'll pause the camera if the chocolate's not melted by the time I've done this. And I think it'll need to. I don't want the chocolate too hot as well, because it'll have a habit of melting the marshmallow. So we might just need to let it cool down slightly just before we pour it onto the marshmallows and the biscuits, type of thing. So that's about right. No, it's a bit more than that. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there's probably going to be probably too much in that container, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So we'll melt this gently. We've done it over, as always, melting chocolate over some water. The bowl doesn't want to touch the water because what it has a habit of doing is actually burning the chocolate, and that's not what we want to do. But that's melting nicely. So we'll just give it another few minutes until it's completely liquid and completely mixed all together, and then we'll probably have to cool it down a little bit before we add it to those. But we'll be back when it's fully melted, and then we'll be back once it's cooled down a little bit after that. Right, so the mixture has melted all together and it's cooled, so it's not hot anymore. So there's going to be no much chance of it melting the marshmallows. And I've put it into two different containers because I want to. There is 200 grams of chocolate in there and 100 grams worth of water. So it's like 2/3 of the total mixture. So I just want to kind of get the recipe right. So I think that's about the amount of chocolate for that amount of biscuits, that amount of raisins, and that amount of marshmallows, I think. And then if we need to add a little bit more, we can just add a little bit more. So 200 grams chocolate and 100 grams of water into there, and then we'll give it a mix, see if there's enough chocolate, and then put it into the container. If there's too much chocolate, then what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit more ingredients. It looks like we need a bit more chocolate, so I think that will be the right amount of chocolate. That'll do it all. Get all that chocolate, I'm going to waste it. And then we'll use the margarine container just to use, because it's handy to have. Comes with a lid, and you just put things in it and you can put it straight in the fridge without having to waste things or buy containers and all that kind of stuff. So like that. Make sure it goes firmly at the bottom. And then we'll set it in the fridge for a few hours overnight, and then we'll see what it looks like when it's cool, and we'll cut into it. Now I'm making a mess. It's because I'm trying not to hit the camera. That and that. Excuse fingers. That. Yeah, it works out kind of quite well. So it makes what these. It's a kilo. It's just like a kilo container. So, but I'll write the proper recipe in and then give it a squish down, because we don't want any air pockets. This looks like it's going to be nice and about the right kind of ratio to chocolate. So there we go. Lid on in the fridge till it goes solid. There we go. Easy peasy. Right, it's been in the fridge overnight, so looks good. It's pretty solid. We'll just use some hot water, and some bit more hot water than that, just to loosen the outside of the chocolate from the container, and then we'll cut into it and I'll have a look. That should do. So, turn it out. That looks okay. Could have done with maybe a little bit more chocolate, and then I need some hot water just to cut through it. So we'll use that hot water from the panel, pour it into this glass. Off camera, I'll probably burn myself. That. Heating the knife up just helps it cut through chocolate and things. So that out of the way. Don't need that. And we're going to cut it. We'll cut it there. There we go. That holds together well, doesn't it? Probably could do with a bit more chocolate. Probably could do with a bit more chocolate, I think. Or less compressed down. Let's have a taste. That's too biscuity. That's the bit I want. I've got my mouth full. Yeah, it's really nice. It works. Doesn't need the butter. Doesn't need the treacle. It basically just needs the chocolate and the water to hold it together. And because of that, it's more chocolatey. So you're not kind of losing any. You lose a bit of richness because you're not putting butter in, but you get the flavour, much more flavour of chocolate. That really works. It probably could do with. How much did I use? Is it 300 grams of chocolate? It could probably do with maybe another 100 grams worth of chocolate put into it. So there's a bit more chocolate, I think. Maybe another 100 grams. I'll put it in the description, like an option of kind of how much chocolate you want to put into it. But yeah, that works. That's nice. Yeah, Rocky Road. Completely vegan, although you could use margarine, but who wants to use margarine in something? Something you could eat yourself as well. Yeah, there we go, that works. Will there be another video using this water ganache? I don't know. I'll have to think about something, but there you go. Rocky Road.